How big of a blowback is there right now in MAGA world specifically?
It's pretty big, I have to be honest.
For the first time in his political life, Donald Trump is losing control of the message. The MAGA base is demanding answers after Attorney General Pam Bondi announced that Jeffrey Epstein did not have a client list. At the time of his death, Epstein faced charges over the sex trafficking of underage girls. Bondi's announcement is a 180 from the theories Trump and his allies have promoted for years. For example, Dan Bongino.
A lot of people think that he was killed. He knew a lot on a lot of people.
He was killed.
You think so? Yeah, I'd be inclined to do the Epstein. I'd have no problem with it.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are.
I'm not ever going to let this story go because of what I heard from a source about Bill Clinton on a plane with Jeffrey Epstein. I'm not letting it go, ever.
Okay, well, now he's deputy director at the FBI, and Bongino is talking about quitting over handling of the Epstein case.
I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going.
President Trump is urging those in his inner circle to let the furor surrounding the Jeffrey Epstein case die down. It comes after a dramatic few days that put the president kind of at odds with some of his most ardent supporters, including inside his own administration.
You also hear her say that she thinks the president understands all of this. What we've heard from a lot of Trump allies is that they're concerned that he does not, in fact, understand the gravity of all of this, and that his attempts to dismiss it are only making matters worse.
Why is this the political hill that so many are willing to die on? Why is it that there are so many people who say, nope, I don't believe it, I don't trust it?
Well, it was taken as an article of faith for many years that
what was
that that the idea that there's information that we're not seeing as the general public, and people said that, bought into it, and so Donald Trump wins the election. He appoints Pam Bondi, he appoints Dan Bongino, he appoints Kash Patel. These are all people that this same audience has confidence in. We trust their judgment. And I think it's just hard sometimes to believe something for a long time and then be told, you know what we believed is not the case. I think.
Who does that hurt though? If that's the changing view, if the idea is, I don't trust what I've heard right now, does that harm Trump and the Republican Party? Does that harm Trump in particular?
Look, I don't know. I mean, there are certainly people that have legitimate questions about what happened. I mean, I've heard now two lawyers, both your guest tonight and Arthur Aidala, who I was on with Friday night, both raised questions about whether they believe he even committed suicide. So you can see there are actually, in the know people who are still raising legitimate questions about this case. So you can see why the general public would also have those questions. At the same time, if you vote for Donald Trump and you have trust in his judgment and the people he's appointed, at some point you have to trust their judgment. I mean, you put them in charge of this. And I think what Doug said is important to know. The Biden people had this stuff. If there was something incriminating about Trump, it would have come out. And also now the Trump people have this stuff. And if there was something incriminating about, Bill Gates or Bill Clinton, it would certainly have come out. And so I guess at some juncture, if you trust the people that you voted for, you trust the people that you voted for.
I just spoke with attorney Spencer Kuvin. He's handled some of Epstein's earliest cases and says, while there's no neat client list, Epstein's black book, phone records, and surveillance tapes hold secrets that could expose high-profile people, and he's certain the public has not been told everything.
Yeah, I would say that the word is dissatisfied. That is how Americans feel in terms of the releases so far of the Epstein case. Take a look here, Epstein case, amount of info released. The winner here, 50% dissatisfied. Doesn't matter, 29%, not heard enough, 17%. But look at the bottom of your screen. The percentage that are satisfied is just 3%. That's 1, that's 2, that is just 3%. I feel like the count on Sesame Street. Just 3% of Americans are satisfied so far with the amount of information released. The clear winner in this particular case is 50%. Half of the public is dissatisfied, at least so far.
And are you seeing a big difference between how Republicans and Democrats are viewing this?
No, and that I think is kind of the interesting sort of nugget in what's going on here. You see this 50% dissatisfied, and let's break it down by party. Okay, Epstein case, amount of info released. Look at this, you get 43% of lean GOP, that's Republicans and independents who lean towards the Republican Party, who are dissatisfied. Look at this, just 4% satisfied? My goodness gracious, when you only have 4% that is with Donald Trump on a particular issue, that is ridiculously low. I've never seen anything quite like it. How about lean Democrat? 60% dissatisfied. Compare that to 3% who are satisfied. Again, 4%, 3% Republican, Democrat. You rarely ever see this type of agreement.
You should put everything out there and let the people decide.